Hey everyone, Space back here today, and today we're going to the moon. We're going to land on it, and then after that we are going to come back and safely land our ship back here on Earth, in the ocean. So right now you can see our stages. They're similar to the one yesterday. It's just I think we have an extra stage here to help us do some stuff. It's a bit larger. I'm just doing some minor modifications to the engine here that I forgot to do before the video, but it's definitely going to help. It definitely helps, especially when landing, to release more energy quicker to do a better landing. It's not like better when landing itself in the last few seconds. It actually is worse for that, but I'm able to control enough to be able to do that. So yeah, yeah, I'm doing some modifications. So the rocket is fairly similar to one yesterday. Um, yeah, so we're gonna launch now. Okay, so here we are. I'm gonna skip time so that it's during the day, so you guys can see better and makes it a bit easier for me too. So there you go. And then I'm just gonna lock my position and get ready for launch. And here we go, and lift off. Yeah, I'm gonna, like normal, turn my ship a little bit to help with the beginning of the orbit. Today, like the rocket is can push us a little less than it could the other few days because the payload is a bit heavier since what we're trying to do is a bit different, but it's still strong enough to push it into space. So yeah, I don't remember when I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it uh, pretty far out actually. There you go. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of the fuel left in there and put it into the one attached to the main body with the payload on top. And use that for the orbit burn. Can happen in a few seconds here. Yep, and just getting rid of those extra boosters we don't need anymore. And yep, yeah. So I decided to abandon this auto burn because it's just useless. It doesn't really work. It's better if you do it manually for the orbit burns. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna, yep, fast forward it. And then since we're going past the apoapsis, I'm just gonna push it up a little bit. And I finally figured out what that word for the opposite of the apoapsis. I decided to not be lazy and actually Google it. It's called periapsis. So there you go. So you can see the periapsis is there now. And I think it's a little low and it enters the atmosphere, so I'm gonna just edit that with a very small automated burn. Ditch that engine that we don't need. Okay, so now we are gonna perform an auto burn. There we go. Okay, now we're targeting the moon, and then we're gonna fix that auto burn we had there, and adjust our gizmo sensitivity, and get ready for the burn. Yeah, I overdid it a bit there. There you go. All right, some of you people might be wondering how, like, every time I do one of these, um, I get the moon to be perfectly on course every time. Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I actually have no idea either. Um, I think it has something to do with the fact that the moon goes around the Earth every about 4 days, and the amount of time it takes to get to the moon and to like go around it with the thing, it's going to be there in about that amount of during that amount of time. So it's almost guaranteed that at any angle. Now, if I'm wrong about this, please tell me in the comment section. That'd be really useful because I'm actually interested in what it is that does that. So I've set myself up for a collision course. Usually I wouldn't do that. I would make it easier for me to choose a spot where to land, but for today I'm just going to do that because we don't have much fuel left on this engine. Yeah, there you go. So we're just gonna ditch that engine. I think when we enter the sphere of influence, I'm not sure though. Yeah. So now we get rid of the fairings. We should have done that earlier, but it doesn't really make a big difference. They are a little heavy. It could have helped me with stuff earlier, but we'll just leave that alone for now. Okay, so now we have our final two stages left. This stage that you can currently see right now is just, we're only going to use it to slow ourselves down right before we get to the moon, right before the surface of the moon, and then we'll use the other booster to land on the moon and also get into orbit on the moon, get out of the sphere of influence, back to Earth, and to safely land there. I have no idea how only that little thing can push itself so much, but it does a great job at it, so that's good. So we are 530 kilometers from ground level, and I just did a warp to get within about 180. So now I'm just gonna do a retrograde burn to slow ourselves down. Yeah, so that happened. We're just gonna manually do it, I guess. Oh wait, yeah, I remember now. We started to burn towards it. Oh, that was really stupid. So yeah, that was a waste of fuel. Not only did it waste our fuel, it also made it harder for us to get um, onto the moon. But it's okay. I was able to recover. That's a bad mistake that any real life place would try to avoid as much as possible. That would most likely mess up the mission and have it crash. Would need to redo all the calculations, and it's really hard to do that. So yeah, so here I'm gonna burn to slow myself down, and I'm just gonna get rid of all the delta V I have left on there, and then ditch that since it doesn't help me when we're trying to land. And then we use the other craft to brake. The delta V might look quite low right now, but it was glitching and stuff. So I don't know what was going on. because then it went back up to 3,000. I swear I'm not using any mods or anything, but yeah. See? Yeah, so Ginger, if you're seeing this, that's the game developer. Please fix that. I don't know what the heck that was, unless you can explain it, but so I'm gonna land right on the side of this crater here. At first, I was skeptical on whether this landing was gonna work or not, but it turned out to work perfect actually. Not too much fuel used either. I was also skeptical whether we would have enough Delta V or not. Well, we did, and we were able to do everything I wanted. We finished the mission with no Delta V left, no fuel left, but it's okay. So we're approaching 500 meters from the surface. And we're going at 25 meters per second. It's with 70% of the fuel left on the spacecraft. And personally, I think I did a great landing. I didn't see such a good landing coming. It was actually really good. So there we go. Stopped and we're on the surface. So that's exactly what the first half of the mission was, that we used like 4 stages to do. And to do the entire opposite, we're only gonna use whatever we've got left in this stage here. 60%, 67% of the fuel. I was really unsure at the time whether it would work or not, but it turned out it did. So we're just gonna speed up time a bit, so that we could land on the Earth when it's daytime. Makes landing a lot easier. In my practice round for this mission, it was actually dark outside, like dark in the game, and I didn't know whether I was gonna land on water or land, but it was land, and it turned out to be perfect. So yeah, I don't know what the difference was, but yeah. So here we're gonna start a burn to get into orbit around the moon, which doesn't take too much delta V. I don't believe. I do believe. So yeah. With the landing legs out, it doesn't really make a difference since there's no air to change anything. So yeah, I'm just burning full throttle right now to do that. And then I stop it and I do a manual burn. I mean, not a manual, an auto burn to get into orbit, just so I know how much delta V it's gonna take. It took about 500 delta V. That's not too bad. So yeah, it takes a bit to perform the burn, but it gets done alright. I'm still surprised at how that amount of fuel was enough to do what we did with it, but okay. This takes around a few hundred delta V to get back into the orbit of the Earth. This does not include the other burn to slow us down and have us on a collision course. So I profit of the time to bring my prongs back up, and the reason why it's slowed down is because we're within 10 kilometers of the surface, which you can't see, but if you look at the numbers at the bottom there, you'll be able to see. We don't get anywhere near to touching it, so that's definitely not going to be a problem. Alright, so here we go. We've started the burn for getting out of the sphere of influence of the moon. There you go. Went pretty quickly. And now I set up a burn to slow us down and get us in a collision course with Earth, which was about 200, almost 400 delta V. But then I decided that I wanted to do an orbit so that I could change where we're landing, which didn't really work out, but it was okay. So yeah, to get to this burn, I did a full turn around the Earth, which took a few days, about a day and a half. So just imagine being an astronaut, having to spend a day and a half going around Earth so super far from you, just to perform a burn to get back on there. You're not even sure whether you're gonna make it or not, like survive or not, because there's always a chance of things going wrong. But luckily for me, this is just a video game, and I take no risks playing this game. So I'm just time warping until we get close so that I can make some changes. We should have done the burns later because it was kind of a waste of the, delta V or whatever you want to say. So I was experimenting here with a few options. I decided to lock retrograde so that I can do a retrograde burn once in the atmosphere. Okay, there you go. So now we're coming in for contact for entering the atmosphere again. With about 2 minutes left in the mission. I'm still retrograde targeted. And as you can see, we're going pretty quickly. At about 4,000 meters per second into the atmosphere. And now is really not a good time to make a burn for anything. I don't even know why I considered that, so. There's no really good way to predict whether there's going to be land or not when you land, so I was ready for all occasions. I think I do open up the landing legs to provide some drag and slow the craft down, which originally didn't really work, but I was able to manage it later. Yeah, so I did do that to slow us down more, and it did a good job. Took us down to about a few hundred delta V, maybe a few hundred meters per second, and then I decided to begin a burn myself to slow us down even more at about 10,000 meters from the ground, going at about at about 300 meters per second. So yeah, even though I'm burning downwards here, I still do the burn. Then it turns me upside down. and it's going straight up, and then actually does a great job with the delta V we have left. So I'm keeping my eye on the delta V on the stage that we have left, just making sure we have some left all the time. We have about 3% with a few meters to go, and I just do full blast last second, and it turns out to be perfect on the landing, making sure nobody's hurt if it was real. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. Hit the notification bell, and see ya.